Good morning and welcome. Apologies for a few minutes late. I had some technical issues. It didn't want to connect between my streaming software and Facebook, but I believe we are now live. Fingers crossed. Good morning to you. It is Monday the 16th of June 2025. My name is Jenny McCormac. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that is here in the UK. Good morning to you. I had a busy day yesterday with our team craft day, so I'm lucky enough to have some local team members and I organised a team craft day, and there were 8 projects to choose from and everybody did all 8 projects and was very impressed. I have a repeat of the same class craft day this Sunday for customers, so if you are local and would like to join us, you'd be more than welcome. This was one of the projects. I thought I would share it. It's a single stamp. As you can see, it's called Peaceful View, and it's effectively a silhouette stamp. Good morning, Caroline. Thank you for joining us live this morning. So single stamp, it creates this beautiful silhouette and it's perfect for matching with our scenery papers, of which we have at least 3 relatively recent ones, including current ones. So let me show you the card that I created, and I gave everybody a whole selection of papers that they could choose from, and I went for this for my sample, which is actually, I need to see if I can find the same one. Probably not, because I deliberately didn't pick that one. So we have a whole series of these papers. Of course, yeah, I won't be able to find it, will I? With the best will in the world. Similar to that one, but not quite. Okay, so I'm not going to go hunting for it because I could be here a while, because I've just dug up a whole stack of papers. That particular one comes from Thoughtful Journey. So what we're going to do is basically take this stamp, stamp it onto excuse me, our 6x6 paper, and then trim that down to fit. So there's plenty to choose from. You could go for a winter type scene, and remember, a lot of these have got, oh, there it is, that's the one. That way round I used it. You can just tell from that little thing there. So just a watercolour background. You could obviously create your own as well. Just do a watercolour wash, or find some papers with clouds on, for example. Quite a few of the autumn papers have got cloud images on the reverse. So nice and simple, especially for a Monday morning. You want a dark coloured ink, so Early Espresso, Black, Secret Sea, Night of Navy, Mossy Meadow. Any of our dark, our regals or our neutrals. And I would recommend using a stamping platform if you have one. You don't have to use it. You can do it on a large block or face the stamp up and put your card on top. The thing is, you want a really good image. So as long as your ink pad that you're using is inky, you will be fine. So I set this up in preparation, and I put some marks here, and my recommendation is, oh, there is that one, is to use the whole sheet to stamp on, and then trim your image down to fit your card. The image is slightly wider than this, but it does mean then that you can choose whichever part of this. So if you've got a fairly even scene like this one, you could just put it centrally. You could also, if you wanted a particular part of this, so for example, if I wanted this bit on the right hand side, you could obviously move this over. Just make sure that the stamp is covering the whole of the paper. You know, you've got the paper behind the stamp, basically. If that makes any sense. It is Monday morning. So I thought I would do, so you get lots of really nice effects. So I've got this one here, and I wanted to do one that's just got like clouds. Or you could use that one. That would also be effective. Maybe I'll do that one. Too many to choose from. So there'll be plenty of choice at Coffee and Card. And I think this is good for retirement, good for male cards, female cards. It would also do for sympathy, I think. So I'm going to pop that on there. And then you can either use the magnets here. Bear in mind that the stamp is going to come here on the right hand side, so you could put a magnet on either side, or you could use a little bit of washi tape. Entirely up to you. I'm going to stamp two so that you can see it. I've got a little bit of tape on here, so I'll use that. You just want to make sure that this piece isn't moving when you do the stamping, because as you can see, it's a large stamp. So let's do, I'm going to do espresso for this one and secret C for the other one. I'm just going to do two, and I'm not going to add sentiments to these, but you could certainly do that, add a sentiment on the front. So I hope everybody is well and had a good weekend. The weather was certainly fine, although we did have some, I think we had rain on Saturday. I honestly can't remember now. I think we did. I think it was in and out, cloudy, and oh gosh, it's alive. Okay, so if you've got a new ink pad, then you'll be fine. If you've got older ink pads like mine that are well used, then you might need a just take that little bit out, a re-inking. So I'm just going to place it on there. I'm not really worried about where on this piece I'm inking up. So this will be our Coffee and Card design for this week. So you want a good amount of pressure, like so. And you can see my ink is very, very light. I've got a couple of espresso ink pads, and obviously I picked up the one that doesn't have much ink in it. Hello Ruth. How lovely to have you join us. I don't know if you've got your sound on or not, but it's lovely to have you join us. Haven't seen you for ages. Okay, so I'm going to build this up again. So this is the sample. Just a really effective stamp. It's very similar to the die cuts, like the Grove that we had, and there's another one which I can't think of the name of. There we go. So I really should have checked my ink pad first. Never mind. This goes to show you can do it with a light coloured ink. Having said that, I do have an ink refill just to hand, so I might just use that. I'm knocking everything there. Okay, I am going to re-ink this because the best effect is when it's well inked. So let me just take my refill bottle, make sure I've got the right one. just lay that onto there. And if you've got a block or a teaspoon or something to hand, you can sort of move that in. Let's see, I've got a block here. There we go. Still quite dry, but let's give it a go. I can see more ink being laid down now. Apologies for the reflection. Okay. Ooh. It's moved a little bit, just slightly out of sync. I don't think it shows on there, but I can see it's slightly moved. So what I'm going to do is let me just re-ink this properly and do that again. I would recommend, if you're doing this, is to re-ink, if you needed, your ink first and allow it just to settle rather than do what I'm doing, which is trying to stamp it a little bit too soon. Have to bear in mind that my inks get a lot of use, and also they were used for this yesterday. Okay, let's try that. I'm just going to choose another scene, so I'm going to do that one with some Secret Sea. Let me just grab, or I could just use the other side of this. Let's try that. Okay, put this on here. And put a bit more tape on it this time. Just make sure your tape doesn't get in the way of the stamp. Let's move that up a little bit. There we go. Right, take two. Just rewind. 5 minutes, would you? Okay, that's better. Now I've got too much ink. Hey ho. There we go. Okay, let's try that. So, good pressure right the way across. That's better. Okay. So bear in mind that you're stamping onto relatively porous paper. You're not stamping onto coated card. So that's where you'll get that slightly mottled effect. There we are. And I'm going to give it one more. Sorry, this is a bit repetitive for you watching, I know. Okay. Yes, that's much better. Now you can use a hint of green, for example, and stamp over those trees as well if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to peel that off. I'm going to stamp the other one and then I'm going to put the two cards together. So there's the effect. Just going to wipe this down and use the sort of sky one with Secret C. And we'll then just put the two cards together. So I've got this one here, so it's got clouds sort of here, and if you look at the picture, it's this centre bit that you're going to see. What's on the other side of this one? Oh, flowers. That would also work, although it's quite dark at the bottom. That way round, I reckon. Let's put a couple of pieces on there. Put the magnet on there, and then I'm going to switch ink pads. Which was under here. That would be why I can't find it. So any dark coloured ink, really. You could even use something like a Blackberry Bliss. I think that would work nicely too. And as I said, ideally you do want a stamping platform, because this would be nigh on impossible to line up. If you've got one of our old Stamp-A-Jigs, which is our stamp positioning tool, before this, that would also work. Okay, so there's a little bit more ink on this ink pad, I'm glad to say. So I must make sure I top up all of my espressos, my Mossy Meadow, and I'm trying to think what else you might use. Blackberry Bliss would also be nice. Okay, there we go. So if I put that next to it, you can see the different, well, I can see the difference in colour. I'm just going to add one more layer. And then all I've got to do is cut it down and layer it up onto a card. So I've got a standard card base, and then this piece I'm going to cut to 9.5 by 13.85. There we go. And then I will have a layer behind it to match the paper. That will be 10 by 14.35. So there's that one. And there's that one. Let me just wipe that down. I haven't got my cloth, so I haven't unpacked everything other than getting ready for coffee and card this afternoon. Okay, let's just put that on there for the minute. Okay. So what I like to do is just pick out the a bit of the colour from here for my background. So we could pick out Cajun Craze, for example. Let's have a look. Whether that's too dark, I don't know. That would work. And for this one, I'm quite liking the idea of, I don't know whether it's Gorgeous Grape is going to work, or a blue. Let's have a look. That's Gorgeous Grape. And could go, if you go Cloud Cover. No, too light. Okay, let's do this one first. So I'm going to trim this down. Remember, if you've just stamped it, it could still be inky. So take your time and decide which bit of this element you want. So I know this is going to be 9.5 centimetres, so I'm just looking at my guide up here, and I think I prefer to cut off this bit on the right because I do love this little bird here. So I'm going to trim some off from the right hand side first, and then turn it round and see where 9.5 centimetres gets me. And if it's too close, then I'll trim a little bit more off the other side, but I'm happy with that. So that's 9.5, and then I'm going to, I know there's not much that I need to trim top and bottom because of the size of the stamp. So this is going to be just about spot on height wise. Might be a little bit too dark. It might need highlight header actually. Yes, that's nicer, isn't it? So this is going to be 10 centimetres by 14.35. So that's going to be 1. And then let's trim this one down. Maybe the Cajun Craze is going to be a little bit too dark. Don't know, let's have a look. So 9.5. And also you can keep these pieces and cut it off, put it on the inside. That's the top. And that's the bottom, like so. Yes, that works. This is Calypso Coral that I've got on this one. So I'm going to go Cajun Craze. There we go. Actually, that sky has also got a little bit of purple to it, so that would also work, but this is more Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral coloured. So let's layer these up. This is my misstamped piece, and of course all my blues are packed away. There we go. So welcome to anybody who has joined us since my live started, or to anybody watching us on replay, whether that's here on Facebook or on our upload to YouTube. So that's Early Espresso ink, and then this one here was the Secret Sea. I'm hoping we're still live. It says we are. Fingers crossed. Do shout if you're still with me, or a thumbs up or something. There we go. This would definitely make a nice, you know, thinking of you card. Go. And there. So there's that one, and I'll grab a base for that. So exactly the same stamp. and you could definitely use basic beige if you wanted on this rather than the white. Hello Carol. Oh, Carolyn's still there. Jolly good. It just says nobody on my screen. How very strange. Right. Just going to have a look and see if I prefer this on, yeah, I think I do, on basic beige. Let's make sure it is a card, yes. Morning Carol, I hope you're well. Wrong one. Right one. That's it. So yeah, it would make a nice, obviously a nice Father's Day. It'd be good for anybody who goes fishing, for example, because it, you know, it looks a bit like, although you wouldn't have the fence where you were fishing, but I just think it's really, really effective. So thinking of you, sympathy, retirement, birthday card, anybody who likes the countryside, yeah, nice and easy. But do make sure your ink pads are well inked before you start, otherwise it will take you 3 or 4 goes rather than 1 or 2. So this is Peaceful View. Sorry about the reflection. It is in our annual catalogue and it's currently in stock. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back Wednesday morning for a new online exclusive product, and then I'll be back Thursday evening for using this in a different way altogether. So I hope you're able to join me. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's beautifully sunny here at the moment, and fingers crossed it will stay like that. Thank you for joining me. Do take care, and if you do have this stamp set, I'd love to see what you create with it. Obviously you can do your own background if you haven't got any of our scenery papers, but they are currently available. The Thoughtful Journey is perfect for this, nice and it's got some light tones to it. So thank you so much, and Caroline, I'll see you tomorrow, and I look forward to crafting with you all again really soon. Bye for now. Time for coffee.